So I had wrote this song. As I said, I lost my book, so I don't have a name for it yet, or a chorus. But I managed to finish three verses. And I'm gonna try my best to try to figure it out. Or try to lay it down for you guys. Right? Let me do this acapella. It goes. Christ up. You never let me down, never. No matter the situation, no matter the weather, I seen the storm coming. My first thought was to start running. I'm not prepared for this. I could only think of the worst. In every aspect, the conclusion is hurt. And I hate the phrase, it could always be worse. Especially when I feel like I'm already face down in the dirt. And I know that it's so true that I would never go or face what you went through. I'm nothing like Job. I'm nothing like John Q. I'm nothing like Abraham. I'm nothing like Esau or Saul. He saw a little boy grow to a man, end up taking a stand in all of his fans. But what about Moses or Judas's plans? It's a few men that went through tests, tribulations, and trials under one God. Some passed, some failed. You need to study your past to make sure you're correct on your route. That's the first verse. And that's basically talking about me, how I felt like I was going through some stuff. But then after I started to think about what Jesus went through for me, I was like, okay, I didn't really go through no stuff then, did I? I didn't go through nothing really. Because I know what you've done for me. So then I go to the second verse, and I go.
So I take time.
You just don't know how God good is.
Oh, I know.
How good God is, you know? Man. I know people who committed suicide and plenty who died. People who were abused both mentally or physically with fists or rods, or with words or actions that hurts worse than deep scars. That it builds hatred and grief in their hearts to the point that they hate and blame God for it all. Because why did he create a man that's so foul that he could go out, rape women and kill and still manage to hold smiles? And what about your father, brother, cousin, or your mother's stepman that gets the urge to put hands harmfully and or sexually on the younger female siblings? Or those stuck in the streets, those without food to eat? When I think of situations like these, unfortunate countries living in poverty, without freedom or rights, it kind of makes you think, how bad do you really got it in your life? Now that one kind of came at us as a whole, the United States, saying that there's other countries that go through worse things than we do as a state. So while we over there fighting wars in Iraq, well, there's people in China I'm reading about. People getting crucified just for being a Christian. People on the run, gotta hide on the underground just to live for God. It's not like that over here. I was reading about Peter and John, how they were thrown in jail just for speaking about God. Over here, who's getting thrown in jail over here for speaking about God? How many actually speak about God? I was telling my brother, I was like, you saying you want to live right. You saying you want to do right. But you're afraid to speak about God. You had the courage to shoot a person, but you're scared to talk about God. I said, that should show me that God's more powerful than any bullet, any gun, any friend that you have. He's more powerful than you. You're just afraid. I said, just say his name. That's it. He couldn't even do that. And what makes it even worse, the people that broke into my car, took my stuff, were his friends. And I knew it. I went to their house and asked them for it back. They wouldn't give it back. Now the old me, before I got saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. But I said, okay. And I actually seen him on the way out, coming up here. And I said, all right, man. See you when I get back. That's God right there. Not to mention, Michael lives in Colton. I had to go to his house. I'm rolling on E. I had to pick up my homie Radical before we went to his house. And I'm rolling on E. I just left the house and I'm just like, oh man, how am I gonna make it? I didn't know I was gonna make it. I was on really E, like where the line is on the E. It's on the E, like it's covering the E. So I'm like, okay. As I'm driving, God's like, put your hand in your right pocket. Put my hand in my right pocket. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I just recently got back from Oklahoma from chilling with my fam. My brother gave me $20 in these pants. I'm like, God, you're even good now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to you guys. I'm not up here trying to give you a sob story of how you can feel bad for me. No, I'm trying to give you encouragement. This is encouragement to see what he went through, what people went through. Like when I read the story of Job, the stuff that he went through. People felt bad for him. You could feel bad for him. You're like, oh, Job went through some stuff. That should be encouragement to know that he actually got to go through some stuff. Like God was willing to test him. God was like, have you tried my servant Job? That was as something like, oh yeah, man, try Job. That's one of my faithful servants. That's God bragging on Job. I'm like, okay. So when I'm getting tried, I'm like, whoa, that's God bragging on me. Let it come. Let it come. Let me do this third verse and get out of here. Let me see. Now knowing all that you know about suffering souls and people that may experience pain far greater than yours, it's not the fact that you ignore. It's more like you tend to forget when it hits and that burden is yours. Then your relationship with the Lord seems to weaken or either build. Either you drop your defense or you put up your shield. You use God as your strength or you stop popping some pills. You're going to keep your eyes in the dirt and look towards the hills. Everything happened for a reason, and that reason is His. Even if your situation never seems to get better or fixed, He's still God. He's the same God that was there from back in the day in Genesis to now. He's still God, He's still good, who deserves praise from the birds to the fish. So no matter the situation, it doesn't change who He is. We need some soldiers to stand for the King, no matter the matter. We need some Abraham, Jobs, Daniels, the boys in the fire. Then no matter what happens, God will be lifted up higher. Like a Benz to go with your suit, tie, and shirt, and gators in the attire.
All right.
Give it up, everybody. One more time for Teddy.